Guys, I must come clean. I must come clean. I cheated. I opened this thing. Hi, I'm Clef, and you're watching gametechtalk. The Mobapad M6-HD. Honestly, ever since I started covering controllers, this is probably the single most product that I've been recommended by viewers. This one that I have in my hands was sent for review. I was excited to try these ones because a lot of people were saying this is the one to go for, this is the product, and we'll talk about, one, is it that great? And two, how about if we compare it to what was my favorite option up to this point, the DEFIES joycons. So we'll go over all the things that can potentially make this product great. Usually I have a rule where I don't open something before I actually am ready to review it. Let me prove my point. The Neo next light, and at some point I'm gonna have to review this thing. And when I do, I'll probably give it away because I don't see why I would keep this. I have plenty. I just need to get to it and review it. I'm also sitting on this one. Now, I might have to open this one because I think I'm gonna bring it with me on my travels. And by the time you see this, I might already be gone. So it might already have been open. We'll see. But today's video is not about these products. It is about the Mobapad. So let's get to it. I think I mentioned it, but just in case, this product was sent for review. As always, it has zero impact on my opinion, and they get to see the video at the same time as everybody else. They did send this case over where you can fit the Switch as well as their controller. I love when companies have accessories that matches with their lines of products, and this is exactly what Mobapad is doing here with this case. You can also put some Switch cartridges as well, but also you can store your Switch, and then you have a little bit of room as well to potentially put a charger, cable, a couple of other accessories that you can put beneath. So here we have, of course, the controllers. Let's start with that in all their glory. Now, there's a few things to talk about when it comes to these controllers. I guess something that we'll cover real quick in case someone would wonder, because I think they would be great candidates to use as a standalone controller. So let me just, if you wanted to use it as a standalone controller, you absolutely can. Oops, I connected them to my PC to know if it was working, and I just heard my PC react because I opened it, and they do, by the way. And honestly, it has a great grip for that as well. So you have replacement faceplates. Now, if you wanted to paint, draw, you know, that's something you could do. So it's very nice that they include a replacement set. You have a different D-pad. So if you want to use the cross style, or what they have here, which we pretty much call the Xbox style these days. And one thing you'll see here, that there is a little part that kind of sticks out, and you can push this like so. Of course, that goes, oh man, I need to disconnect it to my PC. I don't know if you guys heard the ta-doom. So yes, we would just go like this, and we can have the cross out if we want. Now, we can also easily do that to change our sticks, which is another advantage. These are pretty much available aftermarket. However, these ones, they come with a metal ring, which is very nice to ideally rotate without having too much friction or causing scuff over time. Overall, great that they offer some accessories. Am I missing anything in the box? No, I am not, and I don't believe I am under it as well. Oh, there is a manual. We'll keep that aside, we might need it. Now, when it comes to these replacements, this one has a circular shape, whereas this one has an octagon. So if you want, just like it was with GameCube, where you would have those notches to sort of lead you into one of the diagonals or the cardinals, you can do that as well. I'm actually gonna switch the right side. I don't believe they are large sticks. They seem to be medium, very comfortable. They have a little bit of a ring around it, but they are concave, which I prefer. Feels very, very smooth, glides very easily thanks to the metal ring. It has just a little bit of resistance, which I'm a little surprised, because in my experience, whenever you have a metal ring, it glides a lot. Whereas this one seems to have just a little bit of how can I say this? Just a little bit of a stop to it, which is very, very nice. I feel like I would be probably extremely precise with those sticks. They feel great. The triggers are what feels like micro switches. I don't think these are definitely not tactile. I wouldn't say a mechanical switch. I would say a micro switch. Could be wrong. These as well, though they have what feels like a little more of an actuation, not enough that I would call it a mechanical switch. I would also call them micro switches. These are definitely tactile. Now this is also micro switch. Man, these feel a lot like mouse clicks. I need to see what they're, do they even actually, the box? I need the box. Okay, now they call it mechanical buttons. I mean, they are, well, in the event that they are mechanical, they have very Omron. Wow, these are Omron mechanical buttons. So that's why. Because I was like, if this is mechanical, this is very good quality mechanical. And yeah, wow, I did not expect that. You know, I open these things, I play with them, and I'm like, okay, it feels good. All right, I know what I need to know to experience it live for you guys. I did not know that it was Omron switches. That is pretty awesome. And then the back paddles are what I would call tactile, definitely more muted, but not to a point that it feels like, you know, it has that dampening that kind of makes it hard to understand the actuation point. Definitely not, but I don't also consider them to be anywhere near an Omron mechanical switch, not at all. They are a little bumpy. I like that the shape that they have is not straight all over the height of the controller. The ergonomics are extremely accentuated and arguably maybe too much for some people. If you like something more muted, you might find the ergonomic grips of this controller a little bit on the aggressive side. They're done extremely well. And they also have this dotted texture, which gives you an extra grip on them. I really like the feel of these controllers. Even these ones, they feel different. They feel easier to actuate than the original ones. Because there were so many people telling me about these controllers, I am taking a bit of extra time to really soak it in, the way that they feel, because they do feel particularly good. And can already tell you that now that I'm holding these, I am strongly hoping that the Switch 2 will support joycons, because if they don't, I'll be sad. Like, I think this is endgame, and I'm giving you a little bit of a heads up as to what the conclusion is going to sound like. But, you know, assuming that the features match the quality of the product, like the physical quality of the product, this is endgame right there. All right, first, let's see if they can boot up the Switch. I would assume so. Yes, they open the Switch, no problems. Oh, okay, I understand. Hopefully you guys are gonna hear this. This sounds clear as ever. You know, I need to test Joy-Cons. 1 second. I feel comfortable in saying that these sound better. I did not expect that. I don't know if it's because of the shell. Maybe there is more space for the low frequencies to travel inside and, you know, kind of bounce back. Without a doubt, this will offer you that degree of differentiator that good quality HD Rumble has. You definitely have it there. I am shocked at how good these sound. Is that going to translate in an experience that is that much superior? No, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that I'm noticing that it does sound better than the original ones. So at the very least, it puts me at ease to know that I'm not going to be missing out. Look, I'm a Rumble head kind of guy, so I took a long time, you know, looking into this. I hope you guys won't mind, but let's just go into the controller itself. Now, in terms of responsiveness, it feels good. It is definitely on the noisier side because of the switches. It might not be for everyone. Like, if you're the kind of person that will play your Switch at night in bed, sleeping next to someone else, you may get told that it's a little noisy. However, the Nintendo Switch original ones are also clicky. So in that sense, it's not like it's that much worse. But if you're looking for something muted, that is not it. You know, that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Let's have a quick look at gyro. Extremely precise, extremely responsive, nothing wrong here. Yep, everything works as it should, so I have no complaints there. I also have sit them down. They're not overly sensitive. They're not behaving abnormally either. So the gyro test is working just great. Let's move to Street Fighter, where we're gonna test the D-pad and some other features. All right, it works. The face buttons and D-pads are not vertically aligned with their sticks. I find here that the balance between both is pretty good. So it's very easy to jump from one to another. So I do feel that without having tried the D-pad, I do expect that it's going to be a good experience for that. And also, if ever I was playing a game that has me jump often from the sticks to D-pad, I think it's going to be one controller that also does very well in that regard. Really good. All right. Very, very easy to hit the corners. Oh my Lord. This D-pad is borderline cheating. Oh my God, I think this is the best D-pad I've ever had on a Switch controller. Easily, you know what? Easily. Oh my God. There is not a single time I haven't successfully registered what I wanted to do. What? Dude, not a single time. Oh my God, this D-pad is king tier. Oh, it is so good. Oh, I'm shocked. Not once. And it's not even like I'm in a comfortable position, but it doesn't matter what side I'm on. It's super easy to land my attacks. Oh my, wow. Hands down the best D-pad I've tested on any controller on the Switch, be it a standalone or Joy-Con style. Nothing has come close to this D-pad. It is so good. This is S tier. Easy. Like, oh my God, that D-pad is so good. Those Omron Switch are showing their worth. Okay. We are at that point in the video where I'm starting to summarize my thoughts. How can I put this? The 2-3 minutes that I held it before making this video, it just, the moment I laid my hands on it, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna need for anything else. Like, unless there are extra features that comes with the Switch 2 controllers, even if it's like gimmicky types of features, I don't see how Nintendo will do as good. I just don't. Not that they're not capable, just that I think at the scale that a company like Nintendo operates and the importance that they put on hardware, and I'm not trying to say that Nintendo doesn't do great hardware, they do, but they're not trying to have the absolute most advanced controllers in all of history of gaming like Sony is. They're not trying to compete with powerful graphical output like Microsoft and Sony are. Nintendo, they always find something that they can really rely on, and they did with the Joy-Cons, they did with the Switch, but I don't expect them to push the component quality narrative. That controller destroys the quality component narrative, and that's why by holding it just 2 to 3 minutes, I was like, oh yeah, I already know I'm not gonna need something else. There's no way in my mind that Nintendo is gonna make a better controller than this. Impossible. So let's talk about a few more things. They support macro, so you can record functions. They support back paddles, so you know, if for example you want jump in Mario Kart to be mapped on your back paddle, you can do that as well. I'm not gonna get over how to do this on this video because I feel like every other controller does that. You're not buying this for these features, but just know that it's part of the experience. You know what I mean? You're buying this because you want the quality components, and rest assured, it is freaking amazing. They do offer different faceplates if you want different color schemes as well. They also have a dock that is compatible with one of their Pro Controller equivalent. I'm actually curious about that controller now that I see what this company can produce, because these controllers, I should say, are completely bunkers. With that said, is it perfect? Arguably, I'd want to say yes, but the honest most answer I have to give you today is no. And the one thing we haven't covered yet before my conclusion is performance. Now, it's not to say that it is bad. It's just, it is Nintendo standard. These pull exactly the same as what you can expect from Joy-Cons and what you can expect from almost everything on the Nintendo first party and third-ish party accessory lines. Now we are starting to see an exception. You may have seen my GameSir Galileo G8 Plus review, and the Switch controller mode of that controller pulls stupidly high. With that said, is that the console where it's going to be the most important? Potentially. I mean, if you're playing Smash Bros and you're playing in your living room, you want to have a G8 Plus, because unfortunately that's the one thing I can knock it for. And honestly, if I had received this product a month ago, I would have had a different thing to say, because it would have been on par with the market. We are just starting to see controllers that are doing better. And yes, you do have a few controllers that did better, but they were external controllers, you know, like the Nixie Warrior, for example. This is a Joy-Con style controller. It is attached to the Switch, and when it comes to the performance wireless, and I'm being very specific here, when it comes to the performance wireless, it is not on par with what you have on the G8 Plus. That being said, there is one thing that I cannot benchmark, and it is through the connection. And I will say, considering how unimpressive that Joy-Cons are with Bluetooth signals, I don't think it pulls the same when being connected. I would be convinced that it pulls higher, because honestly, when it comes to the pulling rate of Nintendo controllers, they're not impressive at all. In fact, they not only do they hit the bottom most, which is 125 Hertz, I have yet to see a controller that is stable at 125 Hertz. They almost always pull anywhere between 65 to 75%. So that's like 80 to 90 Hertz. Abysmal, really abysmal performance compared to what the market is coming up with lately. Look, if you are someone like me that plays most of the time on the Switch in handheld mode, it is endgame, because again, and I repeat myself, it feels way snappier when connected to the Switch. And it's not that it doesn't feel snappy when being on Bluetooth, it's just when you do things like what I do and you benchmark controllers day after day, you start to know even without having the numbers in front of you. And unfortunately, no, I cannot benchmark these when they are connected, but I can guarantee you with the responsiveness that I had on Street Fighter, guaranteed, whatever these pull at, they're either 100% of 125 and no other controller does this, or they pull higher. And if I had to put money on it, I would assume that they do, because it feels too snappy, too responsive to be just on par with the rest when connected. So that is the one thing, if I have to knock something off of it, the GameSir pulls much higher. We're talking 4 times the speed at which these pull when using Bluetooth, but the D-pad is nowhere close to this. So responsiveness is not everything, you know what I mean? Like, I assure you, I could never pull the efficiency that I have just now with a controller that pulls 4 times higher. If you're a handheld kind of guy, if you are wireless already and you're setting and you're looking for something that just gives you a richer experience, also go for them. Hands down, so good. But if pulling rate is important for you, so if you play wireless Smash Brothers, for example, you probably already know about the Nixie Warrior. You probably already know about certain controllers that the Smash community have been raving about because they perform well. Is that the controller for that specific aspect? I don't think it is, honestly. But for everything else, it beats everything hands down. It's not every day that I get, I'm getting chills right now. It's not every day that I get to review a product, and this is how passionate I am about these things. It's not often that you get to review something that you know has just demolished everything else you've tried before. If I was to tell you, you know, they're just a little bit better, I would be trying to, I would cater to my relationships with the brands first. And that's not to say that it's not important, because without them, it's harder for me to support you guys. But I have to be honest, Coriovis, if you want to buy something a little less expensive, I think remains amazing options. But if you don't mind going over budget a little bit, in comparison, that is, you will definitely get more. Objectively, this is a better D-pad. Objectively, this is a better rumble, although the Coriovis already does that great. Like, you have all-around mechanical switches. Like, what else do you need? Let me give you a hint. You don't. You don't. You just don't. Mobapad, thank you very much for sending this product my way. I'm glad that we are on talking terms, and I hope to get to review your future products. I understand now. And I want to thank all the viewers that recommended this controller to me. And yeah, this thing is going to become glued on my Switch, guys. I am in love with these controllers. Such a great job. And, you know, I hope this motivates competition to come up with solutions as good, but I'll be honest, I don't think they will. And it's not that they're not capable of, it's just that in the landscape of something like a Switch controller, do you imagine, like, let's just, I'm sorry, I'm making this video longer than it needs to be, but I think it'll make sense. Think about just how many options do you have as a consumer to buy a Switch controller? You have literally Switch controllers, Joy-Con style controllers for $10 a pop, 20, 30, 40. These are not cheap. There's one thing I haven't talked about. These are not cheap. They're definitely premium. So in that regard, it was ballsy of them to try to bring something to a market that is already so saturated. But for them to do it so brilliantly is where I don't think we'll see that much competition, because it takes guts. It's easy to fail in that market. If that was my business, I don't think I would have taken that route. So I applaud them for that, because it is such a great risk. All these components, they come with a cost, you know? Like, it's not free for them to make a controller this good. It comes with a cost. And of course, by selling you the controller, they make a profit, obviously, but they have to increase the price for them to make that profit. And so they have to convince you, the buyer, that it is better. And that's where I come along. And there are certain products that, you know, I'll tell you like it is, because it's not that great. And there are certain products where I will be comfortable, more than comfortable, telling you, look, if they're asking you for 100 USD, take it from me. It is worth every single penny. And this is that controller. I'm making this longer than it needs to be. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comment box. As always, I love bringing these reviews to you guys. If you have anything that you want to let me know, feedback, products that you're interested in that you think I should review, let me know. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.